Hello, everybody. Bill Thornton, SoCal Saber. Thank you for stopping by for another edition of Spinning. What music? This be number 46. And so it's the sounds of what I listened to this week in my vinyl albums and CD collection, what I added to the collections, and what was already in the collections. So it was a pretty exciting week. I got some pretty decent stuff in from that are pretty old. All right, so we're going to get started with a 1970 album. But before I get going, while I'm taking it out, please go down there and hit that like button. If you haven't done so yet, subscribe to the channel, help it can continue growing. And the remarks are always welcome. Out of the ones I'm going to show you, do you have any of these? And if you do, which ones did you like the most? And what in your favorite albums, what albums did you listen to this week that I didn't talk about? All right, the 1970 album is from the band Stage Fright. There's no inner with it. It's the third studio album by the Canadian-American group, featuring two of the group's best-known songs, The Shape I'm In and Stage Fright. This is my second edition by the band, the second band album into my collection, and I really enjoyed this a lot. Stage Fright peaked at number 5 in the Billboard's charts, surpassing the group's first two albums, which peaked at number 30 and number 9 respectively. It was one of 3 albums by the group, including the band and Rock of Ages, to be certified gold, more than 500,000 sales. Pretty nice looking. So the covers in I have it listed as VG, but it is in very, very good shape. There's no splitting. There's a little bit of wear on this tear here, and I think that maybe a little bit of wear in the bottom, which is kind of normal when you're pulling them in and out of racks for years without having them protected. And this is pretty cool stuff. But I think I only have it as VG because there's no inner. That's probably why. I should start trying to differentiate a little bit more on what I think about those songs. And then the album is on Capitol, the Capitol Green album. And then, as you can see, the vinyl is in very good shape. PG plus. Played really, really nice. And I'm very happy. 1970, this album is 54 years old. And that's pretty cool to have that in there. And that was the first one. That was Stage Fright from the band from 1970. Next one I want to bring in is another one from the 70s. This one is going to be from 1971, though. And by the way, I got that last one and this from Whatnot. And this is the Yes album by the Yes. It's in very, very good shape. It does have an inner. So let's get with it. Let's get with this stuff first. There's a gatefold. It has an inner, which I think is probably is just an advertisement for the other albums from the company. Best of the Bee Gees, Bette Midler, Emerson, Lake and Palmer. Good advertisement there. If I remember correctly, it's a little tough getting back in because of its age and it's bent in this corner here. So the best I could do for this one would be VG, because it is all in place. It does show a lot of wear on the edges. There's no splitting though. The edges are all intact, just some wear on them. And this is really prog. This is really prog. I really enjoyed this. And it is the third album by the English progressive rock group. It was the band's first album to feature guitarist Steve Howe, who replaced Peter Banks in 1970, as well as their last to feature keyboardist Tony Kaye, until 1983 when he came back in the album 90125. The album was a critical success and a major commercial breakthrough for Yes, who had been at the risk of being dropped by Atlanta due to commercial failures of their first two albums. This one reached number 4 in the United Kingdom and number 40 in the US. And I am glad that I got it in. And the vinyl is again in VG Plus. Some people ask me if I put my fingers on the record. These fingers here are not on the records. See? Okay. Only for balance. All right. So there's the Atlantic Gable. Crooked. And again, really good VG Plus vinyl. Well, so that's two from the 70s this week that came in really good shape. When you get from Whatnot, you never know what you're going to get. I've got this nailed down to only a couple people that I buy from now, and I trust their material or their presentations are very good. They actually show you the album, they show you the covers and everything, and so that's been very helpful. So the next one that I got coming is a 2022 reissue of a 1986 album, and the group is Metallica. These are all new to my collection. These first four that we're going to do, the first two and this one, are new to my collection. And Metallica is Master of Puppets. I've wanted it into my collection for a while, but I didn't. I picked this up at Wisecrack Records used. I didn't look at the album because I don't look at the albums in the record store. I just judged it on the cover of what kind of shape it was going to be in. And that was in real good shape. And this is the third studio album by the American heavy metal band. Masters of Puppet reached at number 38. No, what am I talking about? Number 29 on the Billboard 200 and received widespread acclaim from critics who praised its music and political lyrics. It's really considered by some to be one of the greatest and most influential metal albums of all time and is credited with consolidating the American thrash metal scene. They went on tour, and unfortunately, their one man, Mr. Cliff Burton, passed away while they were on tour for this album. It's too bad he didn't get to enjoy all of the fun. We do have an inner in here somewhere. And the lyrics over here. So this is definitely not my first album by Metallica. I have others. I have Black. I have 72, whatever that last release was. And I have some other stuff. I just can't remember what they all are off the top of my head. Then it's on the dark label, which I had a hard time even reading. It's on dark gray and a faded pink type print. And as you can see, really good vinyl. No lines, nothing. Before I lie, no, I didn't lie. It was a piece of dust. So that was the third album to enter the collection this week, and that was Masters of Puppets, a 2022 reissue of the 1986 album. So three goods. I've been on a good run so far this week. Then we're going to go one more. We're going to go all the way back into the 60s on this one. And this is 1967 album. Got on Whatnot, a great buy by Vanilla Fudge. This is so in good shape that I hunted to see if this was a a reissue, and I cannot find it being listed as a reissue. This is all covers, and it's a psychedelic rock of cover songs. It's the debut studio album by the American psychedelic rock band. It was their most successful, peaking at number 6 in the Billboard charts and number 8 in Finland. In 1967, they had 6 studio, after that, 6 studio albums and 3 compilations. Some of the songs, some are from the Beatles. Ticket to Ride. They've had 3 interludes on here. Eleanor Rigby, but they're not the ones that we're used to. People Get Ready. She's Not There, the zombie song. Not the way we are used to hearing them. These are psychedelic, and these were really, really good. I really enjoyed this. This is my first entry by Vanilla Fudge into my collection. And again, in really good shape. It's on the Atco stereo label. You see how good this is, both in that, and I can't understand how this could have been so good unless somebody just put it in their collection and never pulled it out again. And I really did hunt to try to find out if this was a reissue. But I didn't find any information on that either. So it don't really matter to me. Yeah, it does. I like to know the truth of them. But this was Vanilla Fudge by Vanilla Fudge from 1967. Great psychedelic rock album. If you like psych rock, check it out on one of your streaming channels. You might want to, you'll find some different Beatles sounds of the Beatles stuff in it. And it is proggish and psych. All right, so now it was time to get into some stuff that was already in the collection. The first thing we do this week on in collection stuff is CDs. And number 26 is a 1988 CD by the Escape Club, Wild Wild West. This was their second of 3 studio albums by the rock band. Their most well-known song, Wild Wild West. The album also included the singles Shake for the Chic and Walking Through Waters, reached number 27 on the U.S. Billboard 200. This one had me tapping my toes some. I'm sure that I bought it just because of the song Wild Wild West, but I do like the whole thing. Got a little book in here. You guys have any Wild Wild West in your collections? And this is on Atlantic. Did I show you the back? I don't remember if I did or not. So I'll show it again. Is the track listening? No, don't have a barcode on it, but it's got this other type that I've been running across lately from the late 80s. Must have been something they were doing differently that I did my searches using that number. And then the second CD of the week. I was a little surprised at this one. I was trying to find out why I bought it. Okay, and it's Sheena Easton. This is from 1988 also, and the title is The Lover in Me. Okay, it was her 9th studio album. And The Lover in Me reached number 2 on the U.S. Billboard Hot 100, becoming her biggest hit since 9 to 5 morning in the morning train. And it stayed on the chart for 25 weeks. It also peaked at number 2 in the Billboard dance charts. Altogether, it charted on 17 different worldwide charts. That is pretty cool. And I added to it. I did like it. There's, I'm not a Sheena Easton fan, but I'm kind of glad that I have this CD in my collection because there's some stuff on there. You know, she became the first and only recording artist in Billboard history to have a top 5 hit on each of Billboard's primary singles charts. Wow. Here's a little booklet for her. Heaven knows what I was thinking during those days when 88, I was out in the military. I was living, I had been in this house here for 1 year. I think I had just started work that year. No, I had started the work the year before for Northrop on the B-2 bomber program. So if you're a Sheena Easton fan and you don't have this in your collection, you might want to check it out and see if you want to add it. Got some good stuff on here. So all the albums were for the early ones, and then we got the two late 80s CDs. That goes to figure it out as the albums were going out at that time or not, or were scarce, hard to find. Then the last album we have for the week, which was already in the collection, because it's the last one we do every week, is the next one coming out of the collection. And this could be number 34. And this is 1975 album by Paul Anka. Who would have thought I would have a Paul Anka album in my collection? But that's got some pretty good songs on it. I don't know where I was in 1970. I mean, it's in my mind 75. 75, I was in, I just coming back from Korea. No, Korea. I was still in Korea. I had another year to go on my second tour in Korea. So I don't know where I was going from this, and it had some big hits on it. The song on there, Times of Your Life, started off as a jingle by Kodak and created an advertisement campaign that featured Anka singing a jingle titled Times of Your Life. While the tune was being heard across in the United States from Canada in a commercial, Anka decided to record to release the single in 1975. The song became a U.S. hit, reaching number 7 on the Billboard Hot 100, February of 76, and remaining in the top 40 for 12 weeks. The previous month, Time of Your Life had spent 1 week atop of the Billboard Easy Listening Adult Chart. Paul Anka's only recording to do so. It was his 12th and final Billboard Top 10 hit. And the songs on here, I have little marks on here what I put on my reel to reels, and one of them was You're Having My Baby, okay, and then one man woman, one man woman, and one woman man. Yeah, that really wasn't me in those days. I wasn't a very good guy when it came to relationships back then. So anyway, it's Paul Anka. I don't think we got an inner in this one. No, we don't. It's probably been long gone since it's 49 years old. And it's on United Artist album. Or label, I mean. So I only gonna give this. There's some light scratches on the back. In a couple of different spots, and on the front there was a long one but it did not affect the play. There's a little popping and so forth like that, but I expect that on these old ones. But so that was the last one of the week. That had already been in the album. That was Times of Your Life by Paul Anka from 1975. Well, that was another fun week with my music, adding new stuff to the collection, and checking out some of the older stuff that's already in the collection. So I want to thank you very much for stopping by. SoCal Saber saying take care of yourselves, be kind to each other, and stay safe.